Yo, this is Top Flite, King Tap,
Hypnotic.
and you already know we're here and we're blessed today to have my main man Blas in the building.
What's happening, baby? What's happening?
Yeah.
Always a blessing.
A lot of people don't know, one of the pioneers of Colorado hip hop for real. You know what I'm saying? As we've always said, I've always said he's one of the people that put me on in the game.
Yeah.
I wasn't even like ever in Denver until this man came along.
Come on, man.
So
right on, family.
that's what it is. That's
Right
what
on,
it is.
man.
So today, you know what I'm saying, we want to chop it up with you, keep everybody informed about what you got popping. I hear you got this track called Morbid about to come out. Tell them about it.
Morbid. Yeah. Man, you know, ironically, for the last 2 or 3 years, I've been dealing with the mental health industry in Colorado. Adult mental health first aid, youth mental health first aid, addiction, wellness, recovery, things of that nature. And I had kind of started applying my focus in those areas and getting in the community to help people with addiction because I've overcome certain things in my life. And what has ended up happening, one of my dear friends who's also in that arena, the health and wellness arena and recovery homes, Michael Hornbuckle, big shout out to the Hornbuckle Foundation.
Definitely.
He reached out to me with the joint, man, and when I heard it, I immediately knew that it was something I had to do because it directly connected with the other work that I was doing. So it wasn't just about creating a song. It was really about creating a movement and putting the different dynamics together to take the wellness and recovery industry further in this demographic.
And so what are we looking like on the release date of this song?
Man,
I know I've heard it. But what are we looking like? Are we coming up with with when this is gonna be for the people?
That's the $1 million question, because you know, with the work and you know, I don't want to get off the subject, but I want to thank you brothers for igniting a new fire within me, just in terms of, you know, helping me identify the direction, because putting all of these pieces together is hard. I don't care who you are,
Bro. I don't think anything happens to the highest ability without teamwork.
my man.
Right?
Real talk.
You always got to surround yourself with the smartest people. That's why we're blessed to even work with you. It's just opening up new doors in our minds to see things, ways we didn't look at them before, to go further in life. So
My man.
it's dope.
Yes, sir.
This
Yes,
project, I had a chance to actually meet him, an hour, 2 hours up into the mountains into some little studio I've never heard of, and it was just a vibe. There was dope live drums. It was an old studio. I think, yeah.
And then the support from linking me with the studio where we would actually mix Morbid and begin the campaign. So in terms of release, you know, I hate to say something and put my foot in my mouth, but I would say we are about 30 to 45 days from an official release, because I feel like we definitely need to complete the biopic, a short film, letting people know, how does this guy, this dude, Blas, go from this gangster message? And it was always sprinkled with a little bit of community.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But how does he go from this gangster message or this gangster dude to this philanthropic guy? And a lot of people say, well, he's changed. And I had to tell somebody the other day, I was like, it's not that I've changed as much as it was whatever I do it to 100%. So when it was gangster life, I was just 100% involved.
I think you evolved.
Right?
It's just an evolution, you know what I mean?
Yes,
it's
sir.
an evolution of experience and mind and spiritual,
My man.
and all that. So
My man. So when we look at the series of events, Morbid is what brought us together. And this is what, it may have been the catalyst to get us started.
Wow.
But it has expanded into so much more at this point, to where I listen to the song every day. I rock to it. It's therapy for me. However, with the scope of everything else that we're doing, with everything else, with the seeds that have been planted by you brothers, thank you once again, in terms of what is your goal? you know, when you continue to ask me that, and I told you the other day, I said, you know, I read something last night, made me think of this whole situation. And the author, it's a book called Powernomics by Claude Anderson. If you haven't read it, you got to go get it. But he starts off one of the chapters with a quote from Alice in Wonderland. And Cheshire the cat asks Alice, well, Alice says, you know, what road should I take? And he says, well, where are you trying to go? And she said, I don't know. And he's like, well, any road will do. And I was like, damn, that's what been telling me all along, like, Blas, what road you want to take? And I'm like, well, man, I want to do this. Look, bruh, we here to support your vision. And at the end of the day, we need a vision to support, right? So after being in Sedalia, Colorado for 2 days with the youngsters, man, it really gave me some clarity. It really gave me some focus and some concentration in terms of where this whole campaign is going. So with Morbid, sooner than later. But I think it definitely, based off of what I'm learning from you guys and what I'm seeing you guys do, every move. I was talking to this bro, I was at a dinner the other night, and one of my brethren had a lamb, and there was an R&B singer there.
Okay.
And you guys' name came up. In high reverence, people were talking about you, don't even know I'm really working with you. But they were like, yo, Top Flight, they don't move just to move.
Yeah.
Every time they move with purpose. And I was like, damn.
Like our brother Blas.
And I'm sitting back, bro, but I'm sitting back just like, yo, this is what the people are saying. Without my endorsement. This is what you guys have shown the people. So now, in being blessed and privileged to work with you brothers, I'm moving in that same purpose. I told Hip yesterday, I said, you know what, bro? I'm walking away from sales and I'm giving my life to the community because I'm in a space to where I can make those type of decisions now. These funding opportunities are dropping on the table. All of these opportunities are happening, but it's only because I've honed in.
Well, which brings to a good point of,
My man.
I don't have tears come to my eyes a lot. You know what I mean? If I lost a lot of people, a lot of things happen. I had tears come to my eyes of something you invited me to recently. And I wish more people would step up to the plate like this. Because we could brief history. Every time we've helped somebody, we've called Blas and he came through. One time we supplied coats to the whole school for the kids.
My man.
We gave him stuff.
We gave toys, and then he supplied coats to everybody.
We reached out to everyone in the city. No one really did nothing, the rapper-wise. But Blas forced his way in to give every kid in the school a coat. It was a blessing. But then, so the other day, tell him what he invited us to.
The crazy part about it is that it's right down the street from you, and you don't even notice it. You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy thing, is that you almost become so blind to it by what you do in your everyday that it can be right down the street from you. Because I'm over there all the time. You know what I'm saying? And you don't even notice it at all. And so when we went out there with From the Heart, his company.
Where did we go to? Where did we go?
What are the streets? The exact streets.
We hit the block. We hit the block.
Curtis and Park Ave, yeah. And we went out there and we gave food to everyone out there that needed it.
He had a whole operation set up.
And he had a whole operation set up to cover the block and feed everyone on
good meals.
Yeah, good meals.
Some better meals than I eat myself. You know what I mean? And it was just a dope feeling to see. The way we got like this is looking up to mentors like yourself. So it's dope to how everything goes in full circle. You know what I mean? That's why it's exciting to help give you ideas. Okay, let's try this differently, just because you've helped shape us to this form. So it's just dope how the world works. So giving back. From the Heart, what is From the Heart actually? Tell them.
Man, you know, law governs all events. And what ends up happening, sometimes you don't have an intention to begin something. And I was part of a feeding program with an organization and with a community, and you know, my duties doubled. Like after the first month of showing up, they were basically like, yo, this dude is dedicated. And I tried to be in the cut, you know what I mean? But the cream will always rise to the top. You just can't, you know, when you have a certain gift, you know, and it comes from the Most High, it's not a gift of my own volition. So I showed up for this organization for at least 6 months. You realize it was a religious organization, but they told me that I didn't look religious enough. That I had to cut my hair, I had to wear a certain garb. And this was a week, we were doing this weekly, every Wednesday. And I said to myself, I was like, man, I just want to do the work. You know,
Just be you and do the work.
yeah, these people aren't judging me, so how dare you judge me?
Yeah.
And you know, I have a past that's filled with temperamental moments and you know, violence even. So I said to myself, this is gonna lead to that road. This is leading down a road that I don't need to revisit. So I started a feeding program about 2 years ago, and it evolved into programs. It evolved into what we now know as From the Heart Enterprises, which my uncle came to one of my meetings. And when I was first putting the organization together, and he said to me, he said, man, this is really from the heart. This is really from the heart. Y'all don't have no funding. You don't have no grants. You guys are coming out the pocket to bring these kids together on the Mile High Chess Club and renting out Overland High School and getting them pizza. And this is out the pocket. Man, this is from the heart. And this was 2 years ago. So we've been on that block every month, the last Sunday of each month. And it's called the Monthly Family Service Day because what was happening during the Rites of Passage program with the Mile High Chess Club, parents would just drop their children off and they wouldn't understand what was happening in the classroom, what was happening in terms of engagement. So I said, well, you know what? I have to create something to bring the parents and the children together at least once a month. So there can be, you know, because my challenge was these young men and women would come to participate in the Rites of Passage program, but they go back home to the same disparity. They go back home, so the parents were making it twice as hard, because if I come and talk to these kids about the dangers of alcohol and drug use, but then they go home and this is what they see, it's almost like, yo, we need to work in concert, because you're sending them to me on a Saturday afternoon for 4 hours for a reason, right? So you're making my job twice as hard. We can affect change, but we have to be on the same team. So we started the Monthly Family Service Day, and the parents would come, the children would come. It was definitely youth-led and youth-driven. However, it's morphed into something much bigger than what the original intention was. So that's where the Monthly Family Service Day came.
Now, how can anyone be involved in this?
Anyone, everyone.
And you encourage people, whether they can
how
help.
do they go to
time.
contact you and to be a part of this, to help out and give and donate?
You know, we have the website now, www.fromtheheartent.com. We're also on social media, you know, under Don Blas, and I am Don Blas on Instagram. So we have multiple platforms. We're all over the place. You can't, if you doing anything in the Denver metro area in terms of philanthropic work or community work, you know, you can't miss us.
Reach out.
We out there. Holla at us if you want to be part.
It's like you having a bad day. One of the best things you can do is help somebody.
Come on, man.
Reach out to my man Blas.
Come on, man. Yes, sir.
Let's make it happen. Well, thank you, Blas, for sharing your moments with us today. I know you're a busy man, and it's dope to see you out here on the block and letting us even join you. So we're excited. I know Christmas is coming up. I know we're going to be doing a lot of things to help. So people who want to help, donate time, money, whatever, reach out to Blas on From the Heart website, and let's keep it moving, right?
And I want to say this, because this is something else that has evolved over the course of our engagement, the From the Heart Top Flight engagement. And I was just an hour ago, I was pitching this idea to some people that work in human resources and DHA, Denver Housing Authority. But we want to create a 24-hour male victim crisis center. 24-hour male victim crisis center. This will be a hub where men can go, especially, first and foremost, because when it comes to domestic violence abuse, it's a lot of times because we lack access to certain resources. When it comes to addiction, when it comes to certain things that are going on in the community, and we have to take our rightful place back as men, in our families, in our nations, in our communities. But the only way that we're going to do that is if we're able to clear our mind of all the clutter, quieten our internal dialogue, and receive that support, knowing that we have a place where we can, if we have a moon room or a green room at the crisis center, where you could just go in, burn some incense and meditate and clear your mind and then go home. Right? You don't have to explore a vice, or you don't have to go buy that bottle, or you don't have to take it out on your children or your wife, because we must emphasize the importance of family.
Definitely.
We have got to emphasize the importance of family. And one thing we don't do as men is talk about what works when disciplining our children, what's working to help keep our families together. And this is why our families are being broken apart. Because when we get together, we're not having these serious conversations. So this will be a place where we can have these conversations, but it'll also be a place where we can offer adult mental health first aid services. We can offer programs, some of the programs that we have now. We can offer the food pantry piece, to where we can have some place where people who are in disparity, they can come get a bag of rice, a bag of beans, a can of green beans, or a can of soup, right? So this is where we're going, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, and I really want to emphasize my gratitude at this moment for, I tell people all the time, these brothers, and I'm gonna deflect from the heart and Blas for a minute, because what you guys have done is figured out something no one else in the music industry has ever figured out in this demographic. So to abandon your posts and jobs for 10 years, and to be able to do what you're doing, and the phone calls you're receiving from certain so-called elites, who once upon a time wouldn't even give you a look. Now what? See, I've been rocking with Top Flight. Now,
Real talk.
now I've been rocking. This ain't new to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been singing the praises of, man, I looked at a picture the other day when you brought DA-Dub and MF2 to the Hemp Shack about 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And this is how me and you started rocking.
Yep.
It ain't had nothing to do with you.
Yep.
He didn't have nothing to do with how we started rocking.
Yep.
It's just how everything comes together. That, and you know, they talk about that arc: affinity, relationship, and communication.
Amen.
Affinity, relationship, and communication. So when you have that affinity, right, and you create that relationship, and then you communicate, there's been no breach. There's been no breach, and I've supported you from the beginning, and I will support you until the end. And if you got a problem with Top Flight, you got a problem with Don Blas and From the Heart. You heard it like that. We're gonna say it like that. How about that?
That's what's up. That's what's up. My man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And if you want to get involved with any of those things, anything, make sure you hit Don Blas up, you hit From the Heart up, be a part of those, you know what I'm saying, support those situations. Also, if you have any resources to add to those situations, let us know. You can even reach out to me and Hip, and we'll forward you in to Don Blas.
Come on.
So you know what it is. That's what time it is.
Peace and love.
Perfect.
My
Perfect.
guys, boy, y'all boys.
They never skip a step, bro.